Now, for the urban dweller,
Mm.
for the teacher who's in the city,
Hmm.
how can they get a taste of being able to do this? And what are some of the tactics that you help teachers understand that they can get through the extreme amount of red tape that surrounds a lot of teachers in their teaching practice? What are the low-hanging fruits for these teachers?
Oh, I love that question. And I've just had electricity in my body because that's exactly where I love to exist.
Excellent.
So I think, first of all, we need to remember that when we're talking about nature connection, when we're talking about disconnection from nature, we're actually talking about disconnection from ourselves because we as humans are nature. My example to plant blindness, like we are separate from the natural world. So we need to bring back our connection. Teachers living in or teaching in urban spaces, everybody has the opportunity to step outside their classroom, look up, see the sky, and automatically be connected to the wider natural world. Everybody, no matter where they exist, if they're in urban spaces, they still are impacted by weather. So they still, outside the door of their classroom, have access to temperature, rain, sun, heat, wind, all of the elements that can bring incredible connection to the wider world and to nature itself. Plants, garden beds, there are definite ways that we can bring more natural elements into our spaces. And then I would say, like, looking at just beyond the gate. So it might not be, well, first of all, I'd say have a look to your school's out of bounds zones, those spaces at the end of the oval, because most schools will have access to some sort of oval. And at the end of that oval, there's often a patch of trees that are out of bounds until the end of the school day. And that's where all the kids hang out.
Yeah, exactly.
So utilize that space or see what's beyond the gate, see what's outside of your school grounds and local parks and spaces. Within that, yep, there's the red tape, the bureaucracy that gets involved. And I would say upskilling yourself with risk benefit assessment processes and the policies that exist in your school, asking for help with that stuff, because often deputy principals and that level of management will be available to help with those kinds of things. And if they see an educator who's passionate about doing something different, often they're happy to help out. Not always. I will put the caveat there that there are some schools that is a tricky process. Often you'll get oh no, we can't do that because of this. Or no, our policy says we can't do that thing. And I always say to teachers, go with an inquisitive or a curious energy and say, can you show me where that is? And so I can understand more deeply why I can't do this thing. Because often the policy doesn't actually exist, or no, we can't do that because of this is just hearsay.
It's just a Chinese whisper.
Exactly.
Passed down the line. Yep.
Yep. So we're not allowed to climb trees in our school because we have a no tree climbing policy. I very rarely see a no tree climbing policy. I see a risk management policy that outlines benefit risk assessment or risk benefit assessment, in which case you can do your due diligence and support tree climbing to happen. But I haven't seen a school have a flat out no tree climbing policy. So asking the question of going, why can't I do this? Show me where it says that I can't do this. Because if there is no actual proof, then I'm going to try to do this in a way that fits with what our school's policy is and what I'm comfortable with as an educator.